Yo, this is a quick reply to Armageddon 1115's Why American Women Treat Men Like Sugar Honey Iced Tea. The funny thing about the situation was that about a year ago, another, I guess you can call him MRA YouTuber, did the same exact video exactly a year ago on the same date. And the funny thing about that was I was pondering about the same situation. I didn't know how to put into words, but it was actually playing out in my life with the type of females that I noticed that I was either attracting or attracting to. But I'm gonna put a clip of his video, not the whole thing, because I want you to really go back and watch it. The way he hits it on a nail, point blank, period. Like, I couldn't, between these two videos, it's explained no better way, but it's actually something that I think a lot of men don't realize. It's something that does need to be voiced over and over and over again. This concept that a woman just wakes up, 30 plus and wiser and ready to settle down with a good guy. But check out the clip of, I think his name is the Big Bad Wolf, and then I'm gonna basically co-sign my thoughts on the whole topic. Alright.
Right? And they become sanctified. And they find Jesus. Hallelujah. Praise the Lord, right? It is holier than the damn Pope. Super Christians. And as time goes on, they start looking for a quote-unquote good man. And then they start looking toward the ones who have, not just earning potential, but actually earning power. Because at that age, they pretty much finished all the student loans and they're making a good deal of money. And this is the point where people say they begin to appreciate a good man. No, they don't begin to appreciate good men. They become to realize that the types of men they were with, coupled with Uncle Sam, isn't going to be able to provide them with the type of lifestyle that they now have the appetite for in their 30s or late 20s. And so they want to find some other man who has deep pockets, not because they appreciate the qualities that led him to be in the position that he's in, or that they appreciate those qualities and want to grow old with someone who has those qualities, but because they know, like I say, he has deep pockets. And what Uncle Sam did 10 years ago, providing them a lifestyle that was suitable for an 18 or 19-year-old, that man now has the ability to provide them for the lifestyle that they feel is suitable for the 28, the 29, 30-some-odd year-old person that they've actually become. It's not an appreciation for good men at that age. It's just a change in tactics and saying, okay, this is my new meal ticket. Uncle Sam has taken me as far as Uncle Sam can take me. I need somebody else to take me further. And that's pretty much what it is. It's driven by materialism. It's always driven by materialism. And that isn't going to change at any point throughout their lives. People just don't go through fundamental changes like that. At least, I don't believe that. I want to say I'm pretty much the same person I was when I was 18. Not pretty much the same person. I mean, at the core. I mean, that's the green light for the people who can't refute what I'm saying. I just threw you a freebie. You can take that and run with it and say I haven't grown up. And then you can pretend like I haven't really said anything up until this point. See, I'm feeling generous. But yeah, the core person that I am, my sense of right and wrong hasn't changed. My fundamental worldview hasn't changed. Right? I'm a little smarter. I'm a little older. I got a few more coins in my pocket. But fundamentally, I'm the same person, right? Just with gray hair. And the same is true for them. If an 18 or 19-year-old girl is materialistic and is willing to go out and spread her legs for any Tom, Dick, and Harry just so that she can have money from Uncle Sam, she doesn't all of a sudden become a virtuous person a decade later.
Just wanted to reiterate some of the things that were said by Armageddon and by the Big Bad Wolf. And it's, both of these videos are good on dealing with this topic of the so-called, all of a sudden they turn 30 and want to be in a stable, healthy environment in a good relationship. To put it frank, it's like a woman does not wake up 30 plus, not married with children. Her current situation is a result of her piss poor choices in her youth. And now that she's older, she's waking up and she's realizing that she doesn't have the power she once had in her youth to attract what she wanted. She also realized that what she wanted and what she's attracted to not necessarily will give her what she wants out of life. The commitment, the house, the home, the faithful relationship, playing stepdad or playing daddy to her children. See, a lot of what she wants or what she's attracted to is not willing to do that. And this is what you men giants need to realize and watch out for, because a lot of you co-sign this negative behavior. What you need to realize is that feminism encourages this nonsense. It tells women to go out and have children prior to marriage, prior to a committed relationship, because even if that doesn't work out with that child's father, there's going to be some dude in the future, first name Prince, last name Charles, aka first name man, last name Gina, who will wife them up and put a ring on it. Now, just a side note, there are definitely exceptions to the rule, but to be honest, most of these women are not the exceptions. They are the rule. These women do not wake up all of a sudden wanting a good man and wanting a committed relationship and wanting the happy home. They don't just change like that overnight. This change, this metamorphosis of ideology, it's by default, not by design. They realize they can't get what they want from who they were getting it from in the past. They realize the type of men that they are attracted to are not willing to give them those things. So they go for what's next. What they see they can get. The guy who most likely they would have rejected in their youth, the guy who most likely they're going to probably cheat on, because they're emotionally unstable creatures. They are emotionally unavailable. Their emotions, their thoughts are not with you. And you're going to pay for that if you decide to yoke these type of women up. That's why I encourage you to avoid these women at all costs, because it's going to cost you a lot, especially if you put a ring on it and make it legal. I had a situation in my own life where it's funny, because like the video from Big Bad Wolf that I watched over a year ago, the same day, I was kind of going through something like that months before that I watched that video, but I didn't know how to articulate it into words, and he did a great job. But it was funny that it happened to me again, and I kind of realized it was happening to me after watching the video. Basically, there was a female that had like 4 children, 2 baby fathers, and the chick was honest, and I was cool with her when we were talking about certain things, and she was making statements about what she found attractive and what she wanted in a guy and what she usually dates. A lot of those things weren't things that I am, and physically, personality wise, she had characteristics that aren't my type as well. Fake hair, tattoos, things of that nature. But it's funny how not that long after her making those claims of what she liked in a guy, knowing that a lot of those things, that's not who I am, she started to compliment me. She started to say things like, I like that shirt on you, or you look nice in that. And it was funny to me because it's something that I wore a lot of times. And those are some of the tricks that these women do when they realize they're pushing it. Especially in a quote-unquote church, when they see so many other women that are older than them that are still single, they get kind of desperate. And they kind of react to like leech on to the nearest victim. And again, the goal is to not let that victim be you. Don't fall for it. These women do not wake up ready to settle down and mingle after they all had these children, after they've been with all these different men. I mean, it's ironic that their own nursery rhyme says, first comes love, then comes marriage, then comes a baby and a baby carriage. But again, it's ironic how feminism said, don't follow that model. Go out there, have a baby, go out there, be promiscuous. Later on, someone else will wife you up. These feminists dumb this behavior down by saying they just want to have their fun. But it's a lie that feminists teaches these women. And I say it's a lie because the reality is any man of any character is going to value himself and who he lays with and who he makes a wife. Who he wants as a wife is different than who he wanted if he was the type that had jump-offs or flings or one-night stands. He doesn't want the jump-off chick to be his wife. He doesn't want the baby mama chick to be his wife. He wants the chick you probably wore when you were 20, when you didn't have any kids, to be his wife. And that's not what she is anymore. And she realizes this. She realized those options are slim to none. Instead of stepping her game up, correcting her behavior, going out there, making herself in a position that she can provide and bring to the table, that's a lot of work. That's what she should do. That's what every woman in that predicament should do. Step your game up. Realize that your stock has dropped. That means you have to come up in other ways to do better. But these women don't do that. And that's a good way of telling the difference between the exception to the rule and the rules. Because the exceptions will be honest and will be open. They'll be transparent. And they'll bring other things to the table that'll help you make them look less sneaky. But then again, you have a lot that are still looking for that meal ticket, that sponsor. And it's not actually necessarily always financial. It's just the stability of having a home and someone willing to take care of their children, to be a father to them. Even though they're not involved with you, they may be there with you, but they're not with you emotionally, because they're still upset about not getting what they wanted. And they will make you pay for it, especially if you put a ring on it. I don't know. This is a topic that I think that it needs to be spoken about over and over again, because a lot of you manginas co-sign this and you make it relevant because you're willing to fall for it. I can't even front. At a point in time in my life, I did. But through experience, you realize, like, yo, these chicks, most likely, they're not interested in you. They're interested in what you bring to the table and what you can do for them. And you put yourself in a bad situation where you're treating her like she's a virgin. You're treating her like she's that chick, when in reality you're recycling what someone else didn't want to marry, and you're putting a ring on it, or you're wifing it up, making it your girlfriend. Think about that. Think about the fact that most likely you would never ever have had a chance with her in the past. Think about the fact that now that you're older, probably more self-sufficient, probably more settled in your ways, more wise, that you're selling for a woman who isn't. You're selling for a woman who chose to have fun instead of being a mom and a wife and have a family. You're selling for a woman who chose to be in the situation that she's in. You're choosing the woman who would have never chose you apart from the situation. Think about that. Like, let that marinate in your mind. She's the same woman she was 10, 15 years ago. She just has a new angle, as the Big Bad Wolf said, a new game plan to get at least some of what she wants, or to get what she thinks she can get from you. I can look outside my door when I go to work every morning and see a lot of these type of females on a day-to-day basis. And I'm sorry, but there's nothing I can do for you. The one thing that does bother me is that there are exceptions to the rule, but it takes a lot of patience and a lot of discernment to decipher between the real and the fake, between the woman who truly understood that she made poor decisions and bad choices, but she learned her lesson and now she's trying to do the right thing. But again, a good way to see that this is a situation that's true to her life is, what does she bring into the plate? Is she looking for a meal ticket, or is she actually looking for someone to bring to the table with her as well? Because if she's trying to make you be the sole provider, or you be the head chief, and she sits back and does nothing, you might have to think about that. Real funny, one time I was having a conversation with a bunch of older women, and I had made a statement, and they were trying to call me chauvinist about it. And this particular female, which I gave my example, overheard the conversation, and she looked at me and said, "I don't have a problem. I'll sit at home, you go home and make the money and bring home the bacon. I'll take care of the kids." I was in a congregational setting, but I really wanted to say some things. Like, no, she just didn't. I can go out and make the money while you sit home and take care of your own children. Wow. That made me irate. What are you talking about? In my opinion, off the bat, if you bring children to the table, you sacrifice, you forfeit any notion of you being a stay-at-home mother. That's just off the bat. Not even if I'm talking about dealing with them, but that's just rule number uno. You need to show that you can take care of your own children. And that's just advice for any of you guys. If she has children, she needs to be providing for them, not you. But that's just another video, another topic. But I'm going to do a video that I'm working on right now. It's called Damaged Goods. And it's going to go into deeper about the concept of women being emotionally unavailable, and how this notion of free love, free sex, and how that does have an effect on women. A lot of this dysfunction, a lot of this craziness you see from chicks, it all has to do with some of their sexual past or sexual promiscuity. To say that a woman's sexual past doesn't matter is malarkey, and I'm going to explain that in one of my videos coming up. But shout out to Armageddon 1115, and shout out to the Big Bad Wolf. They put it on point. I mean, you can't argue these facts. These women do not just wake up all of a sudden ready to do the right thing. Just overnight, I'm tired of having fun. I want the real thing. I want the house. I want the kids. I want the husband to come home. It doesn't just work like that. She wants those things probably, but it's not you that she wants them with. You're plan B. Don't be plan B.
You're getting married?
Yeah,
Nikki True is walking down the aisle?
I'm closing the deal. Sean is in real estate.
What happened?
Well, I was at this party. I was talking to this guy. I don't even remember what we were talking about. And this little 22-year-old girl walks by. And he was like, "Oh, excuse me, I gotta..." And it hit me. Now I'm 32 years old. I'm the old bitch at the club now.
You're getting married. Do you love him?
Do I love him? In a few years, maybe. I'm gonna be like you. I'm gonna have a nice house, a nice husband, a couple kids, a nice, easy, dull, boring life. And I will never again have to live in a tiny-ass studio apartment.
Come on, don't hurt the guy.
What do you care? You hurt?
Don't go there.
You started it. Do I love him?